How good is Jonas Korpisalo, and how well conditioned are the Columbus Blue Jackets? How well coached are the Columbus Blue Jackets? This was a team that had played basically 2.5 games in one night, and this is within a few days of playing overtime games against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And this team ended up being fine, and it didn't start out fine. This started out looking like what we might have expected, where Tampa Bay was the fresher of the two teams, more ready to go. This was, going to be one of those games where Tampa just kind of runs them down because they're out of energy. But no. So Shore and Bemstrom are in for the Columbus Blue Jackets. So what happened is that Tortorella decided to take Gerby out of the lineup, and Cam Atkinson was unable to play. He's unfit to play. So he puts in Devon Shore and Emil Bemstrom. Bemstrom's a good player, so, and Devon Shore I have no complaints about either in this situation. And yet, early on, the shots were 2-0, 5 minutes into the game for Tampa. The shot blocking was already pretty prominent, and Tampa blocked plenty of shots too. For a while there wasn't anything getting through for Columbus. Everything was being blocked. And then Kucherov gets a goal on the fourth shot of the game for Tampa from Palat and Point at 5:24. 7 minutes into the first period, no shots for Columbus. None. Again, by 7 minutes into this, I was watching this thinking, I feel bad for Columbus. I feel bad that these guys are, this beat up. And this is something we talked about, right? This is something people said after the 5 overtime game, like, gee, you know what? Columbus is going to be completely exhausted. This hardly seems fair. Hockey playoffs are very rarely, if ever, fair. Columbus gets a 3-on-2. Savard was turned aside. Still no shots, though. So, honestly, Savard's been really prominent offensively for Columbus. I'm not sure if David Savard doesn't realize he didn't have a goal, and he's not really considered an offensive defenseman at this stage of his career. But he was kind of prominent in that way, and he has been through the first 2 games of this series for Tampa. Korpisalo then denied Point. The shots were at 7-0, 9.5 minutes in. Delayed penalty. Werenski cleared a puck that was in the crease. It's a penalty on Seth Jones. So now they're down. They haven't got a shot yet, and they're in the box. So everything that could go wrong for Columbus really is to this stage. And the shots were 9-0, 8 minutes into, or with 8 minutes left in the period. 12 minutes into the game, Columbus has 0 shots. None. And again, they looked a half a step behind with Tampa. Tampa did seem fresher. And again, if the whole game goes this way, the conversation we're having is one of, well, this is what happens when you play that many periods of hockey in this period of time. And, well, it's too bad for them, but, it's a war of attrition and Columbus is going to be out. Nope. At 12:34, Columbus gets their first shot. And then 18 seconds after I record that on the board, it is Murray getting his first career playoff goal from Pierre-Luc Dubois. And that was the second shot of the game for Columbus. So, bunch of shots at the Columbus net with 1 goal, and 2 shots at the Tampa net. 1 goal for Columbus. Palat then had a chance that was stopped. More energy in the game after it was 1-1. Again, it was kind of plodding until it was a 1-1 draw, and that seemed to get Columbus into it. With 1:41 left, Chernak takes a penalty, and Columbus goes to the power play. Remember, they're being outshot badly. So what happens? Bjorkstrand scores from Dubois and Texier at 18:35. And right there, 2-1 lead for Columbus. And all I could think was, they're going to steal this, aren't they? This is going to be a game that we're going to look back on and say, wow, Columbus absolutely stole one. So we get a scrum at the end of the period, and Kucherov's involved. Kucherov was involved in a lot of this. I don't get the feeling that the Columbus Blue Jackets like Nikita Kucherov, or that Nikita Kucherov likes the Columbus Blue Jackets. I get the idea in my head that maybe they remember what happened in the suspension last year, and maybe he remembers why he got upset and the suspension happened last year. Either way, Kucherov always seems to be in the middle of any scrum, including at the start of the second. We get some more dislike between the teams. Credit to the referees on not calling a bunch of penalties and calming everything down. They just basically, hey, knock it down, knock it off, keep your sticks down. So, first chance of that period goes to Tampa. Vasilevsky then denied Dubois on a 2-on-1 chance. Really good chance for Dubois that did not miss by much. Killorn then takes a penalty. Columbus goes to the power play. That power play gets 0 shots. So they have the power play goal in the first period. They did not get a power play goal in that opportunity and would not for the rest of the game, but they've got the lead. So while it's nice the idea of adding to the lead, they can play Columbus hockey from here. So the Tampa Bay Lightning were taking point shots, and they seem to be looking for the deflections, which is something I noticed in Game 1, and they were doing it again in this one. I'm going to go ahead and say, change it up. Look at something else, because they're not getting the deflections and those shots from the point. Korpisalo, if he can see him, he's stopping him. There's nothing there. So we'll see whether or not Tampa can find any holes in Korpisalo's game going forward, because Toronto didn't really figure it out, not consistently. And Tampa didn't tonight either. Tampa Bay pushed with 7 minutes left. Better period, though, for Columbus overall. This was a better period for Columbus. Once they had the lead, they were playing a little different. Korpisalo denied Gaudreau, and then they were basically trying to push the net. Let's just get it in there. If we have to score Korpisalo and the puck, we'll do both. Wasn't working. The shots were evening up, though. It was a strong game for both the Blue Jackets, I thought, once that second period was getting towards its end, and for Joonas Korpisalo. We are here. Columbus is here because of Korpisalo. Right now, there are calls for Kyle Dubas to be fired and questions about Toronto Maple Leafs and their forward group because of Joonas Korpisalo. And if Tampa Bay ends up going out, that we may see a coaching change in Tampa. We may see a change in their whole philosophy going forward because of Columbus. So this is a very well-coached team that's playing very, very well, but nobody expects anything out of them. So when a preferred team, whether it's Toronto or Tampa, loses to them, and by preferred I mean these are favorites, it is seen as this affront to what should happen in hockey. So we go to the third period. Columbus still with the lead. Gaudreau had a breakaway, was defended very well by Seth Jones. I cannot argue enough about how well Seth Jones has played in the first 2 games of this series. How much he plays and how effortless it seems the way he plays the game. Korpisalo stopped point, and I felt he may have to hold this game in place because, again, Tampa Bay should be playing some desperate hockey. And then Braden Point takes a penalty. Columbus goes to the power play. So this is one of those things where, there weren't a ton of penalties in this game, but that was at a bad time for Tampa. Tampa's penalty kill did very well in that situation where it basically held the puck at the other end of the ice. I believe it was Gaudreau that was a big part of that too. Columbus held in their own zone for the first minute of the power play. Tampa Bay then pushes at the half, but Korpisalo was clearly stealing it. This was Joonas Korpisalo playing at his absolute best, realizing A, we don't want to go to 5 overtimes again, and B, we have to win this game. Wenberg then scores from Foudy and Foligno at 11:27. Don't let those assists fool you. This was all Alexander Wenberg. Wenberg has had some amazing chances, first against Toronto and now against Tampa. And he's always seemed to be just a little bit off. Just a bit. The opportunities are there, and you can understand why Tortorella's been frustrated with him at times. He has extremely high levels of talent, and yet the finish just hasn't been there. It was there on this one. Made Shattenkirk look foolish on that play. The way he stick handled around him, all by himself, and an amazing goal. And I put up there no OT. Like, okay, we're not going to get to overtime because it's 3-1. Just great goal by Wenberg, and really nice to see him perform on the big stage like this. Columbus then was looking for the trap at that stage. Murray takes a penalty. Tampa goes to the power play, but it was a really strong third period for Columbus. The Blue Jackets were not letting this one go. 3 minutes and 43 seconds left. Cooper pulls the goaltender. 6-on-5. They called a timeout with 1 minute and 41 seconds left. But while Columbus does not hit the empty net, they also didn't blow it tonight. No big swings, no big comeback for the team against Columbus. And this series is tied. The Columbus Blue Jackets earn a split in the first 2. We will definitely have at least 5 games in this series. I'm thinking probably more than that. And for Tampa Bay, there are some concerns coming out of this in that they cannot solve Korpisalo. He made 85 saves on 88 shots in the first game, and in this one, makes a bunch of saves too. The shots favored Tampa in every period. 12-6 in the first, 14-10 in the second, 11-6 in the third. Final shots, 37-22 in favor of Tampa Bay. On the power play, Columbus 1 for 3, Tampa Bay 0 for 2. Korpisalo 36 saves on 37 shots. Vasilevsky 19 saves on 22 shots. And I didn't have the hits written down. The hits were 38-15 in favor of Tampa. 38-15. So Columbus did pretty well. They got outshot badly. They got out hit really badly. They did block a ton of shots, but your first star is Jonas Korpisalo. Korpisalo is absolutely in the process of stealing a series and doing it again. So Columbus splits the first two. I'd be interested to know what you guys thought if you watched the game. Again, I'm wearing this, of course, which was their original jersey. I thought this would be fun to wear for this review. But yeah, let me know your thoughts regarding this game. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.